Hey fans, so here we are in the cab of a Railjet train set. I'm going to be showing you guys the mod that I've thrown together for the Railjet Advance, which was released by RailWorks Austria on the Just Trains website a few days ago. I don't exactly recall when, maybe it's been almost a week, but so a few things that I want to note before we get started are a couple of the changes that I've made. First and foremost, the bogies on the passenger cars have been unpowered. As delivered from the purchase, these bogies were powered, which meant that acceleration was artificially high. The only part of the train set that will provide power now is the locomotive, as it should be, so acceleration is a bit lower, but it's more prototypical. Additionally, I've changed the maximum brake rate for the train set by changing the command max force as percentage of weight down from 200% to 90% of vehicle weight. So brake force is much more realistic now, resulting in a much more realistic brake rate of about 2.2, 2.3 miles per hour per second with a full service application. Works out to about 4 kilometers an hour per second. So much more realistic than where it used to be, which was about 6 miles an hour per second. So so why don't we look at that, test this out first. I have the quick drive set up to Metro Park from the airport, but we're going to be running up to the Newark Penn Station first in the cab car, because I do want to show you guys the cab car and operation from the cab car. This is, I want to say again that this is not a Dovetail product, so the detail and precision that went into developing this train set is much higher than you would expect from Dovetail. There is a cold start procedure that you can choose to follow. All the details are located in the manual. I do suggest that you read through the manual before you operate this equipment. It is very detailed, very advanced. There's a lot of controls that are easy to forget about if you haven't gone through the manual. So I'm not going to show you how to do the manual startup in this video. I will upload a separate video for that. But for now, I will use the auto startup shortcut, which is Control-Shift-Z. That will start up the train for you, and you just have to wait for the notification that the locomotive is ready to operate. The keyboard controls are also slightly different for this train set. In order to operate the throttle, you must unlock it first. I will show you how to do that. Again, these instructions are in the manual. Okay, so we should be ready to go. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we're ready to go. Before I take off, I'm going to deactivate the alerter and the cab signal, which you can do by hitting Control-Shift-A for the cab signal and Control-Shift-S for the alerter. Turn it back on, just do the same thing. It's a toggle switch, toggle command. So now that we're ready to go, the throttle, in order to move the throttle from the lock position, you must press E and then press A, which will move it out of the lock position. If you want to relock the throttle, all you have to do is hold D and it'll go back to the lock position. So Q is the horn. Spacebar, I gotta read the manual again. I forget exactly what spacebar does, but it moves pedal on the bottom. Might be a sort of acknowledge button or something for the alerter. I have to double check again. Something else I want to demonstrate is that as you work the brake, the default setting is for the dynamic brake handle, which is this, to be locked with the train brake handle. In order to unlock it, you follow the similar procedure to the throttle. You have to press the dash or the minus key, which is next to the 0 on your keyboard, to unlock the dynamic brake handle. Then you press the dynamic brake controller. Whoops, okay. So you press it once, you don't hold it. This is different. For the throttle, you can hold E, and that'll leave it, it'll push the button down, as you can see there. For the dynamic brake controller, press the minus key once. That unlocks it, and you can move this separately from the train brake handle. To lock it, you just press the dash key again, and it locks. So there we go. I'm gonna take off now from Newark, bound for Newark Penn. At Newark Penn, we will reverse back into the locomotive, turn the locomotive on, and operate down to Metro Park. Yeah, the brake handle is very sensitive. It's really easy to throw it into emergency by accident, so you might want to be careful with that. Don't remember if I mentioned it, but horn button is Q. Yeah, I did mention that. Anyways, so here we are coming into Newark Penn. Headlights off. Okay, so we are at Newark Penn. I'm going to reverse into the locomotive. Same shortcut.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Start it up and turn the cab signaling and the elevator off. Wait for the screen to load. Okay, so now that we're in the locomotive, I'm gonna open the doors, load passengers here, and wait for the doors to close. One thing I do want to show you when we get back into the cab is the information display screen, which is dynamic. There are buttons you can press, commands you can change. I think it's pretty cool that they managed to code all of that in. And there's a feature that I do want to show you later when we get to whatchamacallit. When we get to the airport station, I will show you that. Status. I know there's buttons to press here. Oh, there we go. I don't think that actually systems. Yep, there's a lot of stuff you can change here. Brings you back to, I hope. There we go. So E, move the throttle, unlocked, bring it forward. Alright, so as we come into Newark Liberty Airport Station, I want to show you that in the default setting, the dynamic brake is limited to 150 kilonewtons. There is a function in the information display that you can unlock the dynamic brake potential and have it have the maximum dynamic brake set to actually 240 kilonewtons. You would only typically use that setting while operating a freight train, but just for the sake of demonstration purposes, I will switch it and show you how that works. see, dynamic brake is limited to 150 kilonewtons right here. And it's automatically reduced as you drop below 30 miles an hour. So as we wait here for the doors to close, I will show you how to change this. So you hit the function key, and you hit the EB ein button, and then you hit E. This changes from aus to ein. This is obviously in German, this is off, this is on. So that's all you need to do. Hit the 0 key again, bring it back to the main screen. And dynamic brake is now unlocked from 150 to 240 kilonewtons. I wish that you'll see that when we come up on the curve at Elizabeth. So ready to part? Another thing I want to demonstrate is the coupler stretch. I've modified the coupler stretch values so that the locomotive does not actually detach from the train set. As you can see, the coupler connections are everything's still connected. This used to stretch out much more, about twice this distance, and you would have these components actually, they would detach from each other. So I changed that value so that these components do not detach. It's much more realistic, and yeah, so that's another thing I've changed. And remember, you can always find a list of values and parameters that I've changed. It's always provided in the README file. So if you're curious and you're ever wondering what exactly I've modded in the equipment, that's all right there. So remember, be sure to read that file and also read the DLC manual before you operate the equipment, so you know what you're doing. Busy. Alright, so as you can see, the dynamic brake has been unlocked. It's about 240 kilonewtons right now. And I've showed you how to do that via the screen, so you can try it on your own when you get a chance. I'm just going to change it back. Alright. Here we go. So here we are in the second class compartment. This is the car behind the locomotive, and we're going to run through the consist. The passenger views are very nice, in my opinion, very well detailed. Let's see, okay, second class. And then this is the first class car, the car that is adjacent to the cafe. There's no interior for the cafe, unfortunately. And this is the private compartment in the cab car. Looks pretty neat, if you ask me. Head back to the first car and go back to the locomotive. As you might notice, this is a very high quality piece of DLC. It's I wouldn't say it's very graphics intensive, but it is certainly much more detailed than your average DLC. So I'm only getting about 15 to 16 frames a second, even on my relatively high-end graphics chip. So if you don't have the equipment to run this at a decent frame rate, this might not be the best purchase for you, considering, like I said, it is a $50 retail, $30 over the normal retail price for a Dovetail rolling stock DLC. But like I said, it's up to you whether or not you want to spend the money on this. Alright, so here we're at Metro Park. That's basically everything there is to see for this mod. There's not much more. You can do speed tests on your own, if you wish. So, be on the lookout for the manual startup tutorial. I'll probably be recording that tomorrow. So yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned till next time. See ya!